top 10 movies of 2014. Really a great year at the movies, I thought. Great year for documentaries, and two movies head and shoulders above the others. Mark and I saw Boyhood back in whatever month, July, August, something. To me, it's a movie for the ages. It's a movie of the decade at least. And Birdman, inventive, clever, says so much about media culture. Mark, you liked it a little better than I did, but we were both in really solid agreement on both these two movies. So the rest of our top 10 we're going to be posting them online on Monday the 22nd, but for the purposes of this video, we've talked about Birdman and Boyhood, so we're each going to highlight another movie in our top 10 that we think deserves more respect. Mark, what are you going to start with?
Well, I'm going to go with the movie that ended up as the number 3 spot on my list, which is We Are the Best, a Swedish movie about 3 girls in the 1980s, middle school age, who start a punk rock band and discover a lot of things about themselves, a lot of self-confidence, and it's a great, fun, wonderful movie that you can share with pretty much the whole family, as long as you can handle a few Swedish curse words. I highly recommend it. It's a movie that stuck around on Portland screens for I think a total of 3 weeks, which is positively criminal. But it is available on DVD and Blu-ray and on demand through a multitude of providers and online through iTunes and all those sorts of places. So seek it out, find it. I really hope it finds a home.
It sounds like a movie that I would really like to see. I think I'm going to check it out on demand over the holidays. The movie that I'm choosing is anything but a fun movie, but for me it was really a late season surprise. It's still playing in Portland at Fox Tower. We've made a video about it. I've written about it extensively, but I'm going to give it one more plug. And that movie is The Homesman. The Tommy Lee Jones directed himself and Hilary Swank in what another revisionist Western, in the sense that it really takes a female perspective. It really shows the hardships. It's beautifully photographed. The music is beautiful, and Jones, the director, is tough enough to handle the difficult Jones, the actor, and Hilary Swank gives, I think, her best performance ever. And yes, I've seen Boys Don't Cry.
Do you think The Homesman is going to get any Academy Award love? It's a movie that a lot of critics have really liked, but it seems to be struggling to find box office, and it doesn't seem to be showing up on a lot of year-end lists.
Hard to say on the Academy love. I mean, I think two things: the cinematography and the score are amazing, and Jones and Swank are both Oscar winners,
Right.
and but I don't know. I mean, it is not an upbeat movie, to say the least. The distribution hasn't been good, and I don't see a lot of momentum going forward for it. But I think it's the kind of movie that 5 years from now or 10 years from now, people will really say, "Wow, Jones, the underrated director, really did something special."
Yeah, no, I agree. I like that movie a lot, and just looking at having had a sneak preview of your top 10 list and comparing it with mine, Boyhood and Birdman were the only 2 films that were on both lists, but I don't think there's a bad movie on, obviously not on mine or on yours. I mean, it really was a good year for movies, despite the Annies and so forth of the world.
Sure, and one thing we were talking about, again, before we went on air, great year for documentaries. I had 3 in my top 10 list: Citizen 4, the Snowden documentary, Life Itself, the Roger Ebert documentary, very moving, and Last Days in Vietnam, this fascinating look at what the title suggested, but really from a different perspective. It was like a real-life Argo, and I strongly recommend it.
Yeah, no, I ended up making a list of 10 non-documentary films and a whole nother list of 10 documentaries. So they're really it's a golden age for that sort of form.
So again, there's a lot of good stuff in theaters right now. Portland is really the lucky market where movies hang around for months. So go check them out. The Homesman still around. Birdman, I believe, is still
That's
playing.
still playing a few places.
A few places.
And then we have in January, yet to even open here, are movies like Inherent Vice and American Sniper and Selma. and probably one or two others that I'm
Mr.
not-
Turner
Mr. Turner,
is coming
movies
up,
that are
yeah.
showing up on some other top 10 lists that we will see in the coming weeks.
Sure. So lots of good stuff. Get out there over the holidays and check it out, and have a safe and happy rest of 2014.
Amen.